This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
You're glad he's not out here in the preseason. Jeff Darlington, give us a timeline on where are we with this Ceedee Lamb Cowboy thing?
Well, we certainly we understand in some sense what Jerry Jones is saying there. There's no reason to risk injury, but he also isn't in camp at all right now. And quite frankly, the season is creeping us up on September 8th being that date. So, look, this could go down any day now. It really could. The problem with it, I say that on one hand. On the other hand, it really doesn't feel like they've gotten to a point where they know the annual salary, where they know the contract length, where they know the structure of the contract when it comes to guaranteed money. So yes, it can all come together very quickly, but we don't really have any of those things feeling like there is any reason to think it is imminent. So the best I can tell you is that behind the scenes, the Cowboys remain optimistic, but until they get much closer to that number, that contract that Justin Jefferson has at $35 million a year, and maybe it doesn't have to be all the way there, we're not there yet. We still have 3 wide receivers, by the way, in Brandon Ayuk, Chase,
Jamar Chase.
Who am I talking about with the Bengals?
Jamar Chase.
Who's dealing with
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, sorry.
Yes.
And Jamar Chase and Ceedee Lamb. So we've still got 3 wide receivers who are chasing those deals that the precedent was set with Justin Jefferson, and we're still not there with any of those 3.
Two-tier question for you, Hawk. I'm happy we got you here because as a receiver, you heard Jerry say, hey, I'm happy he's not here playing in the preseason. In other words, he's not out here maybe getting hurt. But because he hasn't gotten, let's say, into football shape, how long is that going to take for him to get ramped up? Because you fear if he comes back and then like tweaks something, you're like, oh my God, had he been in camp.
Every football player knows the only way to get in shape for football is by playing football. So he can be doing all the working out he wants to in the offseason until he's with his team, until he's going through those reps on a consistent basis and feels the rigors of what the season is going to feel like. His body is not going to truly be in shape, and he's going to risk some soft tissue injuries.
You ain't lying about that one.
Worst case, even beyond. I think also for this offense, he is the most important part of the way that McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys run their offense. It goes through him. And so you're actually not allowing the rest of the players on your offense to truly get their rhythm because you don't have that number 1 X receiver who is based in precision and the dink and dunk and take the shots, who literally gets moved around the entirety of the thing for it to go.
So if this deal gets done, what do you see as the ceiling for the Cowboys?
I think they're a Super Bowl contender. I mean, you have the best receiver in football a year ago.
Here we
you
go.
have a quarterback who was an MVP candidate.
Look at
you
Dan
have
Orlovsky.
one of the best defenders in the National
Something
Football
stinks.
League.
Did
You
I
have 2
fart
all-pro
again?
Corners. Like, yeah, I know it's easy to say, well, they didn't do anything in the offseason. They already had a really good team. They addressed the offensive line. Yes, there's running back issues. Yes, there's things on the defensive line that need to be fixed. Dan Quinn is probably the biggest departure for the Cowboys, but then they have Mike Zimmer coming in.
Yeah.
Unless 1 + 1 no longer equals 2, you can't have a team with this much talent and not say that they are right up there with the best teams in the NFC.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Dan O, I see you with them fingers. What do you think?
Yeah, one, just touching on
I'm an idiot
when it comes to CD's absence and whatnot, just for a little context of how kind of teams operate in this last week or so in the preseason. They're going to play their 3rd preseason game this weekend, and then you have basically 2 weeks till the season starts. Now, more often than not, the next week, so this preseason game happens, the following week, teams use that as a little bit of a, we're not going to go heavy with what we're doing practice-wise or whatnot, almost like a bye because training camp is 5 or 6 weeks long. And so you're talking about if the deal doesn't get done with CD this week, then next week, it's a little bit of a lighter week for most of your football team because you're dealing with your final cuts and roster. So we're talking about even if it gets done in the next 10 days or 2 weeks, we're talking 3, 4, 5 days maximum of practice, real practice for CD going into the season. The second element when it comes to a football team, the biggest question is going to be how good those 2 young offensive linemen are. Ceedee Lamb is going to play good football at some point this year. I think the deal gets done.
They're going to be pretty good.
But they drafted Guyton and Beebe, left tackle and center. Now, by all accounts, by both the tape and what people who I respect as
the questions you were
offensive line
asking.
viewpoint people, they say the Cowboys have hit on both of these players. And I trust their vantage point more than anybody's, essentially. So if those players are what they've shown to be at the start of preseason, I do think that this offense settles in to be a little bit better than I expected.
Well, thank you, Dan Orlowski.
But it's going to depend on how good those two rookie offensive linemen are realistically to what this football team can go achieve.
What do you think, Jeff?
To Dan's point, the deadline that they're looking for doesn't exist anymore. Like week 1 as your deadline to get this contract done is not a good deadline. I mean, that is the beginning of the season. So the problem with this negotiation at this point is that we have surpassed all of the previous benchmarks and deadlines to get this done, and now the only one remaining is week 1. They're in a bad spot when it comes to trying to find a way to push this deal across the line because they don't have a good marker. If week 1 is your marker, that is not a good thing for this team.
Yeah, I see you shaking your head.
That's a fact. I mean, they need him in this offense. It literally runs.
They do
through
need
him.
them
So
in the offense.
For Dak to
I tell you what, we're going to stop it right there. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. I hope you guys feel better about the team. You know, this year has been kind of crazy to me. You know, well, the fact that I'm sitting here on a Monday night like I have been for 8 years is still crazy to me. We started doing this 2016. I used to do an internet radio program, the B.A.M. show, and I'd be on there for 7 minutes talking about the Cowboys and things. And I decided to start live streaming from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock while I was getting ready for my 9:40 segment. And we have continued doing this for all those years. And I remember that first year when Tony Romo got hurt. And Tony Romo, nobody watched me. Let's be clear here. Some of you guys that have been here since 2016, you guys, shout out to you. You have been listening for 8 years. But at this point, 8 years ago, I had about 350 subscribers until Dak Prescott became the starter when Tony Romo got hurt because of one video that I had. It was basically, I said the Cowboys need to draft Dak Prescott. He'd be the perfect quarterback for the Cowboys. Now, some of y'all want to torch me because you say you're the one that jinxed us with that guy. Okay, be that as it may. But that started this thing growing. And I remember saying to B.A.M. that the Cowboys were going to be okay because this quarterback was going to be good. They had a good running game with Zeke Elliott. They had a good offensive line. And everybody was preaching doom and gloom. The crazy thing about the Dallas Cowboys is it's always doom and gloom. No matter what it doesn't matter what the Cowboys do. Everybody always looks at it and says they're stupid. They could sign Dak and they're going to say they're stupid. They could not sign Dak and they're going to say they're stupid. They're saying they're stupid because they haven't gotten Ceedee Lamb done. They'll get Ceedee Lamb done and they'll say they're stupid for signing him. It doesn't matter because it's always the Cowboys are just the thing that's talked about. And and this includes me, Lord Nova, thanks for coming over. And let me say, shout out to Lady Libra. Lady Libra in the house. Gina Dallas Diva up in here. Tay Cowboys, what's up, Tay? And Joanne Gonzalez. Shout out to JoJo. So let's get to it. About 6 hours ago, Ceedee Lamb posted a picture of Black Spider-Man. No, he's black costume, black and white costume, Spider-Man. And the question was, does that mean he's about to go dark and he's ready to get to work? That's the way my man Dak Attack took it. And he's like, oh, the signing's got to be close. The signing's got to be close, man. He's ready to go to work because he's Spider-Man. He's pulling down the mask. And I took it a different way. Ginger Rogers, what's up, Ginger? Now, I don't know. Maybe Tay says the contract's done. I hope it's done. I'm ready to get these contracts behind me. I want to see Ceedee Lamb in there catching passes. Okay? Twiz Digger, shut up. Twiz, you and Dan Salio on Philly 500.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain, where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Shout out to Lord Nova, being a member for 39 months. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate the love and the support. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So my thought was, boy, I ain't playing with you all no more. Because we know now, you negotiate, you do everything by having a tantrum on social media. If you're mad at a team, you take off, that you're a Cowboy. You get rid, you delete all that stuff. That sends a message that, oh boy, he ain't playing. He mad. So I looked at that and said, Tubby Moore got paid $36 million for 3 Spider-Man movies. That's what Ceedee Lamb wants. Well, you know what? When you have a certain set of skills that nobody else has, and I want you to understand something. If Ceedee Lamb has 70 catches and 5 TDs, he will be the list of players that through their first 5 seasons have 70 or more catches and 5 or more TDs. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do for you. Because we can put this whole thing in here, too, about Dak Prescott. Because we got everybody out there that's ready to say, don't that it miffed me a little bit. With Drew, I see Drew's in here, our resident Eagle. Let me bring out the Eagle mascot for you, Drew. Here's your buddy. Fly, Eagles, fly. 1 ring. There you go. We got your Eagles mascot in the house. It's so funny to me that after Trey Lance showing some signs of life, that people already have him in the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Oh, man, we just need to forget that. Hey, how about $60 million for Dak or $20 million for Trey Lance? I say you get what you pay for. But here's what I'm going to do. I want to give you an idea, just a little taste, just something to think about here, okay? Let's take an example of another team. Now maybe they do let go of Dak, and Trey Lance becomes a decent quarterback. That might happen. Or maybe they let go of Dak and somehow, Dion and his son, Secure, end up annihilating, 31 teams, and the Cowboys are the only one that he'll go to. And the Cowboys somehow can get him. Maybe that's – and he ends up being great. But I'm sitting here in my mind, and I'm thinking, because shout out to BetUS. BetUS, that's my boys. BetUS, they sent me the odds, the over and unders for the quarterbacks in our division for touchdown passes. The over and under for Daniel Jones was 15.5 TDs. How are you an NFL starter and they think your over and under is only 15.5 TDs? 15.5. For Washington's starter, I forgot his name, the rookie, they just named him yesterday as the starter. He's 17.5 TDs, right? Jalen Hurts is getting $51 million a year, who, all you Eagle fans say that he's the greatest thing since Joe Montana, okay? You're asking for Drew, stop lying. Drew, stop lying. Drew, you don't have any friends, bro. You don't have any friends. Come on. How could you be asking for a friend? Just say, I'm asking this from you guys. We know Eagle fans don't have friends. Jeez. Jalen Hurts' over and under is 21.5. That's it. Dak Prescott is almost double Daniel Jones. At 29.5 is his over and under. So you're going to tell me, oh, fly, Eagles, fly. Oh, Dink and Dak. Okay. Check the numbers, bro. Dak Prescott's numbers per pass are higher than your guy. They are higher than your guy. But that's okay. We understand that some of you Eagle fans aren't too bright, okay? And you're kind of pasty and pale because you're in your mama's basement, but that's okay. Lord Nova. Hurts is the highest paid running back. Laugh out loud. Drew, you are clueless. Twiz Digga. Okay. Jalen Hurts has an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. Listen, I don't count NFC championship game when you literally beat the Giants and Daniel Jones as your first game, and your second game you played against a team that didn't have a quarterback. I'm not sure that's great. I'm asking for a friend there, Drew, and I do have some. But back to this whole thing of just saying, just don't pay him, because I was listening to the Game Time. He had his resident Eagle fan that's in there and things, and they were saying Dak should take less money when he has the golden chalice that everybody wants, where they could literally just say, I'm going to go out here and let the highest bidder play. He could get well over $60 million. To me, if he signs a contract with the Cowboys that's less than $60 million, he is giving them a break. I'm just saying, because he could look at this and say, you know what, I'm done with this stuff. This shit's just crazy. I'd go to a team that is ready built, that is willing to spend money, to go all in so I can get a Super Bowl before I leave the game. Back to what it's like when you don't have a quarterback. Take a look at Daniel Jones, who just got $40 million, $106 million contract. Did y'all see that interception? He should have done the Dan Orlovsky and got the safety. Instead, I don't want to take the safety. Let me throw a pick six. Daniel Jones was so bad, and I know he's coming back from ACL surgery, and it's preseason. But Daniel Jones was so bad that he had 2 interceptions and 2 completions at one point. The same number, guys. Now, think about this for a second. The Washington Commanders in 1991 won the Super Bowl with their record-setting offense led by Mark Rippon. After Mark Rippon, his short run was over. This is the list until now of starting quarterbacks. Kerry Conklin, Heath Shuler. Heath Shuler was the number 1 pick, by the way, by them. John Freeze, Gus Frerotte. Gus Frerotte, who literally ended up headbutting the wall at the stadium and hurt himself. Jeff Hostetler, Trent Green, Brad Johnson, Jeff George, great arm, not a great attitude. Tony Banks, Shane Matthews, Patrick Ramsey, Danny Warfel, Tim Hasselbeck, Mark Brunell, Patrick Ramsey again, Jason Campbell, who was a first-round pick too, Todd Collins, Donovan McNabb, who was a first-round pick. They traded for him from the Eagles. Sexy Rexy Grossman, John Beck, gave up 3 number 1s for RG3, Kirk frickin' Cousins, Colt McCoy, and the sad thing is, Kirk Cousins ends up being the all-time season passing yards with 4,917, and actually had stability at the quarterback position. They decided, after franchise tagging him twice, we don't need him. They then traded for Alex Smith and paid him $73 million. Josh Johnson, Colt McCoy, Mark Sanchez, Case Keenum, another number 1 pick on Dwayne Haskins, goes back to Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, Eyebrows, Taylor Heineke, Fitzmagic, Garrett Gilbert, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell, and now are at another number 1 pick in Jaden Daniels. So, we are looking at 34 years of trying to find one franchise quarterback. Having spent 6 first-round picks, having signed former first-round picks, having tried everything in the world to find a quarterback. Guys, ladies, kiddies, countrymen, lend me your ears. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Any tips to starting a YouTube channel like Brian's? Ginger, I tell you what, email me cowboysmark94@gmail, and I will give you the tips that I gave to Game Time Brian that got him started on his channel. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest secret is a lot of work. You'll get out of it what you put into it. If you don't really work it, and it's like a job. If you really and truly want it to work, or you have to be beautiful like you. I can't not see pretty women have it easier than an old ass like me. So, but be that as it may. So, Dez was, and see, that's the misnomer here with people is they'll always say, well, Dak Prescott had, incredible talent all the time. Okay, Jason Witten was not the same guy in 2016 that he was in like 2010. Just wasn't. The Cowboys offensive line, I will give you, was great in 2016, Dak Prescott's rookie year, but the defense wasn't. Defense was not good. And when Dak Prescott started getting better and better as a quarterback, that's when the offensive line started to go kaput. Travis Frederick having the Hillian bars was the first chink in the armor. When we literally kept going through player after player after player trying to get a center, he came back for that one season. He was still not the guy that he used to be and decided to retire. And I don't think any of you guys realize this, but do you realize that Tyron Smith was never fully healthy for a single season of Dak Prescott's career? He missed games every single year. In fact, the last 4 years of him being the left tackle, he averaged only 7 games a season. So we've had fluxes where a guy that you Eagles gave up on and Jason Peters, who could only play about 20 plays a game, we actually had to have him play quite a bit for us there one of the years. When you look at Biadasz, you don't look and say he's like a Kelsey. We had guys like George Looney. We had journeymen that just weren't good. We had middle-of-the-round draft picks like Connor McGovern and things like that. Our offensive line has not been great, not anywhere near what the Eagles have been consistently probably about the last 5 or 6 years. And as far as receivers, yes, we did have Amari Cooper there. Amari Cooper was really good. And we had him with Ceedee Lamb as a rookie, which was a good combination, but then we shipped him off along with our number 3 wide receiver. And we literally said Ceedee Lamb, Noah Brown, and a one-legged Michael Gallup. And as far as tight ends go, we had one good year, really, of Dalton Schultz. He had 800-some yards. And throughout Dak Prescott's career, we had a aged Jason Witten, who they'd always say, he's slow as shit, but he always is open. He was always open because teams said he ain't breaking anything. He'll catch the ball, but it's going to be about 6, 7, 8 yards, and he ain't going down the field. Let's make sure Ceedee Lamb or Michael Gallup doesn't take it to the house. So this misnomer that Dak has always had all this talent, sorry, it's not there. Trey Lance can't even beat the second team. Actually, he got the win. Trigger Trey played better. Mark makes so many excuses for Dak, it's crazy. Whatever, Drew. Yeah, that's fine. If I'm making excuses, what's your beef with it? I'm a grown-ass man in my house on my channel. So you know what, Drew, you know what that means? That means I can say whatever the fuck I want to on my channel in my house. If you want to call it excuses, okay, then fine. Making excuses. So, and what? What about it? There is still freedom of speech, isn't it? right? Fucking Eagles fans. I can't wait. You know what? I am going to, because I know what's going to happen with you, Drew. Drew, okay, I'm gonna put a challenge to you, Drew, because I'm gonna tell you about the cockroaches. Okay, it scares the piss out of my daughter because I have the giant cockroaches around here. She's like, she thought it was real. I hope, Drew, that you're gonna be a grown ass man, because I hope you're not a cockroach. Cockroaches being, when you turn on the lights, they scatter. They come around when it's safe. I remember after the 2016 season when the New York Giants beat the Cowboys twice, didn't do anything in the playoffs, but the next year everybody's like, oh man, they're a Super Bowl contender, they're a Super Bowl favorite and everything else, right? Giant fans, they rode my ass, pause, all offseason, talking shit. Cowboys suck. We opened up the season with them and kicked their ass, and I didn't see them anymore. Didn't see him anymore. Eagle fans talk a whole lot of shit to me when it's safe. But when your team sucks, like I say it's going to, because I told y'all last year, you weren't repeating. I told y'all you're going to have some issues with your coordinators. I know you came in there yesterday saying, oh, yeah, Mark Holmes thinks it doesn't. Okay, well, yeah, that's cool. Just when your team sucks, when your team does bad things, don't be that fair weather cockroach, okay? Be a grown-ass man and still show up. Because you know what, Drew? You know what, Drew? Win, lose, or draw, every single time I'm right here, still a Dallas Cowboy fan. Even when I fall the fuck off my chair from having too much to drink and seeing my Cowboys suck up the place, I am still here. So if you are going to be that kind of guy that shows up when your team sucks, by all means, talk all the shit you want. That's why I like Philly 500. Regardless, he going to show up. But if you're going to be a cockroach, get stepping. Just stay the fuck out, okay? Because I got no respect for cockroaches. That's my challenge to you, bro. Now, you're new here, so we're going to find out when your team has trouble. And trust me, your team is going to have some trouble. Only 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers Dak has had is Cooper and Ceedee Lamb. I look at it and say, how many of the wide receivers has Dak Prescott had that have done really good things to the Cowboys, got contracts with others, and then didn't do a damn thing? It wasn't like Dak Prescott was holding them back. Now, Ceedee Lamb is still, Amari Cooper is still in the league, and I can say he definitely doesn't have great quarterback play going on right there. But when you think about guys like Alan Hearns and Terrence Williams, and Michael Gallup, who just retired, these guys, and even Randall Cobb. When Randall Cobb signed here, Green Bay didn't let him go because they said, man, we got to get rid of this great talent. He had literally gone downhill for 4 years and was down in the 400-yard range. He gets here with Dak Prescott. He has 5 TDs and 800-some-odd yards and signs a $25 million contract to go to the Texans. And what happened after that with Deshaun Watson? Nothing. So all you out there that are just saying, Dak sucks, he can be replaced. Okay, good luck with that. Because what keeps changing is all the faces out there, the different coordinators, the Jason Garretts, the Kellen Moores, and everything else. The wide receivers keep changing, but somehow the Cowboys are always one of the top scoring teams in the NFL. It's kind of funny, isn't it? One of the top scoring teams in the NFL. And the over and under that I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by Drew, you're telling me that Jalen Hurts' over and under for touchdown passes is only 21.5? That's it? I'm sitting here seeing Philly 500 talking about you guys are ready to trade for another receiver. You guys are ready to trade. It's like, wait a minute, you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, you got Dallas Goedert. You got Saquon, and you're telling me you're going to go out and get another receiver? I can't even get my number one guy in here. And y'all tell me that my quarterback sucks, where you guys do everything. You hand every single thing to Jalen Hurts. Come on, bro. That shit ain't equal. Des Bryant, Cole Beasley, Amari Cooper, Bryce Butler, Ceedee Lamb. Bryce Butler was not a great one. Des Bryant and Measley Beasley was an okay receiver. I'm not going to say that Cole Beasley was Wes Welker. We're not going to say that. He was a decent receiver. But you don't look at that and say, oh, my God, this is not A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. This ain't Tyreek Hill and James Waddle. Come on. Eagles won one Super Bowl and took over 50 years. Shout out to Lord Nova. Bobby Bottles, lifelong Cowboy fan here. Whether it's coaching, personnel, there are no more excuses for Dak. Now, Bobby, I'm going to say, you know what? Bro, I don't know how you could say that after all of the drama that's been in your face. That has been in your face all offseason. That Jerry Jones has had players that are studs that say, you know what? I'd like to play there. Derrick Henry, I'd like to play there. I got a home that's here. You know, I'll take a discount. You won't even talk to that guy. You won't even help your team by getting your number one guy. Because this is honestly what pisses me off with the Cowboys. Here's the thing. High school coach always used to say, excuse my language, but if you're going to fuck up at full speed. There's nothing worse than fucking up and you take your time fucking up. If you're going to make a mistake, hurry up and make the mistake and get it over so we can deal with it. But don't take your time. Don't take your time and then fuck it up. But that's Stephen Jones. Here it is. Everybody, literally, they're saying that Jamar Chase will probably expect Jamar Chase to have a new contract this week. Jamar Chase just started, stopped practicing 3 days ago. But they're going to be able to get him a deal done. They're going to get him done per Ocho Cinco, right? Here it is. We started talking about Ceedee Lamb's contract last year. Eagles Army down. You ended last year crying, saying you buy into the shit, yet the Cowboys do the same thing in the offseason and you're buying into it again, laugh out loud. Hey, Eagles fan, ain't I just like you, bro? Isn't that what y'all did for 50 years so you finally won a Super Bowl? Appreciate the super chat. But you know what? I guarantee you don't sweep us. That's at least some joy that I have. And I'm going to enjoy seeing you guys suck this year. Yeah, I said it. You guys are going to suck this year. So, does anybody think that the Cowboys are going to get a bargain on Ceedee Lamb's deal? That by waiting all this time that they're going to turn around and we're going to look at it and say, oh, my God, we got Ceedee Lamb for $25 million. And he's got incentives. Right? Then we're going to look and say, damn, Cowboys saved a whole bunch of money there. They must have switched to Geico. No, because you know what's going to happen? Deadlines make deals get done. And it's going to be a sorry-ass deal. Watch. We're going to be sitting here wasting all this time. Ceedee Lamb sitting around like, man, these people, they don't give a rat's ass about me. And see, this is what I was saying in Game Time Brian's chat, and people were lighting me up because they kept saying, well, Dak should take a team-friendly deal. And it's like, what is it about the Dallas Cowboys that says they're team-friendly? Seriously. What is it that the Dallas Cowboys do to deserve people to do them a favor? You literally, Eagles Army down, okay. I always don't fall from off my chair and cry on camera. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm real, bro. I'm real. Don't like it? Don't watch it. But apparently you do because you're even paying to watch it. Appreciate it. But why? But why? The Cowboys, think about it. Guys, I want you to think about this for a second. Do you think the Cowboys have enough money? You think that they're struggling to pay their bills? Now that they're worth another $500 million? These are the same people that charge the players monthly for the cafeteria. Whether you eat there or not, it's coming out your check. It's coming out your check. Are you really that petty that you're making the players pay for lunch? You know how many tickets the family members get? 2 tickets. And that's just home games. That's just home games. They don't take care of the fans. They literally charged $23 to be on the sidelines every day for practice. Now, Eagles fans, did y'all have to pay when you went to the link or the stink? They charged $290 to be at the VIP spots. So, and then you trash the players and make you think like, we don't need you. We're going to blow it up. We're going to make you play on the last year of your deal where you are literally taking your whole career with no guarantee. You're taking all the risk. And then you say, yeah, well, you know what? You should give some money back. They ain't taking that money and spending it on anybody else. They ain't going to do that. They're not. You literally have Stephen Jones saying out loud, with this contract Ceedee Lamb's going to get, he going to have to get, 12 to 15 touches a game. He had 10 last year, set a Dallas Cowboys record. And so you're going to say, let's do the math here, shall we? Let's do the math. Stephen Jones says he needs to get 12 to 15 touches per game. 15 touches times 17 games is 255 touches. He was at 71% completion percentage last year. So 255 times 0.71. It's 197. Another 197 catches. So if we take 197 catches, which would be an NFL record by far, 197 catches, I think it was 12 point something. We'll say 12.5 times 12.5 per reception. That comes out to 2,500 yards in receiving yards. Do y'all think that Stephen Jones was kidding about that? He's going to make sure that he gets the money. Because I'm going to tell you what, here's what I'm going to say happened with the Joneses. The Joneses, shout out to you on the Super Chat. I appreciate that. Eagles Army down under. You're really struggling. Have another $2. Appreciate it. What's happened is they probably said, we're going to settle on like $35.5 million a year and so on. And Ceedee probably said, okay, yeah, I'll be second highest paid. That's cool. And then the Joneses start sticking shit in there. and whittling away and changing the language on it and stuff, kind of like they did with Randy Gregory, and said, we have the right to basically cut you and get you to pay the money back and stuff. Some crazy shit like that. The same thing that happened when they were trying to do Dak Prescott the first year they franchise tagged him. At the last minute, when the deadline was there, when they're trying to hurry up and get him to sign, you slip in a couple things. It's like when you're going to the car salesman, and they say, well, you need the underbody coating because it's going to rust out and stuff like that. And you go there and you're thinking it's going to cost you $30,000, but by the time they get you in there with a couple of, you had to pay for the dealer thing and the location charge and this, all of a sudden it's $35,000. And you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened? I thought it was $30,000. Yeah, but but look, you're right here, man. We got the paperwork done, and you go ahead and sign it. And that's probably what the Cowboys have done. They're trying to nickel and dime him, screw him over, so they can feel like they got a deal on the best of them. And Ceedee Lamb says, I'm now Dark Spider-Man. No more nice guy. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. I want to be there with my teammates, working out, and you're sitting here dicking around with it. Fuck y'all. That's probably what happened. Or maybe they actually have it done, and they're waiting to have it a big press conference. Maybe. But I'll take the first one. Army of 12-year-olds. A.J. Brown is slow, but he's a big target, and he's a good receiver. The Commanders and Giants have more championships than you before the Super Bowl era. Yeah, that's true. Eagles, you are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to Super Bowl wins in the division. I mean, the Commanders have 3. The Giants have 4. We got 5. So there you have it. Twiz, keep moving the goalpost, bum. It's over. Okay. They had to pay him. Sorry, got in my way. Ever since the Joneses spoke to Belichick and Arbicaf and how to run a franchise post-salary cap, they've been screwing the pooch and the fans. Fucking great. Well, they have. So, people ask, why are you still a Cowboy fan? I say it's kind of like being married. Okay? I don't want no other wife than the one I have. And I love, Tracy, I love you. But I don't love everything about you. Shh, don't tell her. Don't tell her. There's things that she does that it's just like, oh, God. And there's things that I do that she's like, oh, I hate this motherfucker. But that's what happens when you're in a relationship. I love my star. I love my Cowboys. I love my players. But I don't like this shit. I don't like the way we treat players and things like that. And I hate the way that they do business like a mom and pop shop. It's just wrong. Ross is our oldest receiver. When was the last time? The last time for what? You're talking about the past when we... What are you doing in 24 bump? Okay, so now that we done trashed him on all that stuff, there are some good things that we're seeing. Because as much shit as we give the Joneses, don't worry, Mark, I won't say nothing to her about it. Well, thank you. But she's probably stealth watching now. Because, see, here's what happens. Here's what happens is I'll finish the live stream and I'll be, oh, yeah, I'm good and all that, okay? And see her, hey, what's going on? Nothing. And when you relax and said, okay, she didn't watch, so she didn't hear it. You'll get ready to climb in bed and she'll say, yeah, I heard what you said. It's like, oh, fuck. It was kind of like, okay, I'm going to tell a real story here. I'm going to tell on myself here, okay? But see, this is something that y'all women do. You just know how to mess up a man's head. You know how to catch us when we least expect it, okay? All right. I'm a young teenager. And I got me a few dirty magazines, right? In my room. I have them hidden. I came home from school one day. Eagle Army Down Under. Here comes the Kool-Aid. No. I had my dirty magazines hid. in my room. Thought they were safe with it, right? Come home from school. And my mom's cooking in the kitchen. I think she'll make some chili or something. I was like, oh, you made some chili? Yeah, I made some chili. I know you love chili. I got a little taste. Oh, you got a little bowl of it, taste of it and everything. Oh, man, that's a good chili. And I go upstairs in my room. And on my bed is sitting my dirty magazines. I walk in my room. And I see them. And it was about the time that my mom came in and said, would you like to explain that? It's like, oh, fuck. That's what y'all women do. You know how to fuck a man's head up. Yeah, that was like, that's where he got me. Okay. I moved, okay, but dirty. That was like 1984, okay? There was no internet. They had Super TV that actually had, adult entertainment, but it was scrambled. So it was like Channel 50. And if you put on Channel 50 and you look because it was scrambled, you might kind of, I think I see a boob. I think I see a boob in there. Okay. There was no internet porn, bro. Okay. Anyway. So now you got a little bit more about me. That's what women do. So it may be that's what happens. But back to the Cowboys. We got a lot of flack from our fans, from the media, from everybody, from Eagle fans. Y'all suck. Y'all didn't do anything to help yourself. You don't care about winning. You lost Tyron Smith. You lost Biotis. You lost Dante Fowler. You lost Hankins. You lost Dorrance Armstrong. You lost Stephon Gilmore. You didn't have any linebackers last year, and you did absolutely nothing to help yourself in free agency. The Cowboys have spent the least amount of money over the last 4 years. They suck. They don't do anything. But then on the flip side, you say, well, who spent the most money over the last few years, last 10, 15 years? That would be the Jets. How they didn't do it? How many Super Bowls did they win with spending all that money? They didn't make the playoffs even. Oh. Who's number 2? That would be the Commanders with the left hand up. How'd they do? Well, they did win the division when when Dak didn't play, and a losing record won the division at 7-9. Oh. Okay. Now, that's not to say that there haven't been success stories. The Eagles missed it by that much, by a fumble, of winning it, going all in. The Rams won it by going all in, and Tampa Bay did by going all in. Those are the success stories. But we've also got ones like the Denver Broncos that went all in, and it blew up in their face. So when I sit here and say, it seemed like Brock Hoffman was pretty much penciled in to be the starter at center. But now it seems like Cooper Beebe, the guy I call Juggernaut, like the Marvel character, who's literally out there knocking people down like Juggernaut, who the Cowboys got by trading back with their number 1 pick as an extra pick and getting Tyler Guyton, who literally is going to be on the FBI's most wanted for assault and battery by the end of the season, the way he's just knocking people around. That you look and say, oh my God, did the Cowboys just rebuild their offensive line? The fudge? You sit there and you look at it with Overshown. Now, granted, it's still preseason and stuff, and we have to get to the season and go through a season. He is playing like the hype for Nakobe Dean. Where everybody, oh, I'm Nakobe Dean. That boy is fast. And he's physical. Our linebacking core, we didn't have one last year, so anything's an improvement. But our linebacking core looks actually pretty good. And the Cowboys have made subtle moves. I know y'all call him Mozzie Pad. Oh, Mozzie Pad. Oh, it's so fun. We could call him Mozzie Pad. Hey, what are you, freaking 10 years old? Freaking elementary school kid? Really? You watch. That guy is going to be a beast this year. You watch. Remember, and when he is, I want you to come back and say, God damn, Mark, you knew what the hell you're talking about. And when your Eagles fall off a cliff this year, all you Eagle trolls, I want you to come back and say, damn, Mark, you were right about that shit too. And make sure you hit the like button too on the way out. Can you shout out my friend? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to shout him out there, buddy. How about this? Boom. He shouted out Lottery King. And Lottery King, here's what you can do, buddy. Boom.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Dude, is that a real question? Rat Mangler? Would I rather have Dak Prescott or Gardner Minshew? Buddy, put down the crack pipe. Seriously. Seriously. Somebody called Schoonmaker spoon liquor the other day. Asman. Bro, where you been? I literally went to Pink's and ain't seen you. Seriously, I took my wife to Pink's, bro. I literally had to go to Pink's with my wife. For you. And I'm telling you, I'm still paying for it. That Pink's hot dog is still working its way through my intestines, bro. And then I don't even see you. Damn. You guys should feel good about Cooper Beebe around the league. He was getting high praise. O-line drafting is your organization. Amen on that one. Tyler Guyton has been the highest graded tackle in preseason. Now, I know it's preseason. I know it's not against Myles Garrett or Watt or anything like that, but that boy's good. Cowboys are going to have some maulers out there that are going to be able to run. We're going to be able to run the football, even though we don't have great running backs. So as I look at it right now, and maybe I'm crazy, but I say my offensive line did not take a step back. I don't believe I think Terrence Steele will be better a year away from the ACL. Zach Martin and Tyler Smith are going to be just like they are. Cooper Beebe adds physicality. The one thing I can guarantee I can say right now is Biotish would get people up underneath his pads, and he would get ridden back into the quarterback's lap. I don't think that's going to happen with Cooper Beebe. And Guyton, if you give him a little help to make sure that, on some of these guys, if he's, not quite ready, that you got a backup in there, he's going to be a road mauler, a road grader. That's going to be great. Jake Ferguson, he's going to be having a breakout year. Jalen Tolbert or Jalen Brooks or Clapper, those guys are going to be decent with Brandon Cooks. And if you can get Ceedee Lamb in here and he doesn't have a soft tissue injury, you have a good wide receiver core. And that's what Mike McCarthy's offense is. I got a couple of good tight ends. I can do 12 personnel. And I've got a bunch of wide receivers that I can hit all over the field. And you have a quarterback who can do that. Jefferson, too much money compared to Adams. Guyton is impressive, without a doubt. Bobby Beninsky, if Dak wins 10 games, he's 40th all-time in wins. Wow. But, of course, Bobby, they say that, but that was against bad teams. If Dak has, check this out. Here's a funny one for you. If Dak Prescott has 4 games this year with 3 TDs, 4 games with 3 TDs, for quarterbacks in their 9th year that have done that, he'll have 40 of them. He will join Peyton Manning and Dan Marino. Now, for those out there that say, oh, shit, it's just 3 touchdown passes, big deal. You know the last time Daniel Jones had 3 touchdown game? 2019, gal. 2019. And I think if Dak gets about 4,700 yards, he'll have more yards than any quarterback in Dallas Cowboys history in passing. And if he has 41 TDs, I think he gets the touchdown record. You saw on Facebook that Dallas is about to sign Linval Joseph. Linval is a little bit on the older side. I've heard rumors about that all off season. You know, Game Time talked about that a lot of times. But I think with getting Phillips being 30 years old, that he's a younger version of Linval Joseph. But, you know, Phillips' max contract would be $2 million a year. I mean, for this year with the incentives. He's basically $1.1 million. Complex Marvin reacts. Danny White or Dak Prescott? Well, that's an interesting question because I don't know that you can compare the two of them. Now Danny White went to 3 NFC Championship games. He was also a punter for the Cowboys too, because that's kind of thing. That's position flex. You know, we like a quarterback that can play punter as well as quarterback, so that way we don't have to pay, you know, another position. Stephen Jones would love Danny White at these days. You know that. But when I think about, let's go back to, let's see, Dallas Cowboys. I don't think that it's apples to oranges. Dallas Cowboys, let's say 1982. We'll say the 82 team, because they still had a lot of great players. Let's go down the roster and see what he had to work with and try and compare it to what Dak Prescott has. Let's see. You still had Hall of Famer Drew Pearson. Okay. Still had Tony Dorsett. Okay. You had Ron Springs, Timmy Newsom. Oh, my God. You remember the thighs on Newsom's? Let's see. You had Tony Thrill Hill. You had Doug Crosby. You had Butch Johnson. You had Billy Joe Dupree. Oh, my God. On that offense. And on the offensive line, let's see. Oh, it doesn't show the offensive line. Defense. Here's what you had still on defense. Ed Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, Emerson Walls, Ron Fellows, Ron Hill, Dennis Thurman, Bob Brunig, Randy White was still on there. Benny Barnes. Oh, Benny Barnes was another good safety. Dexter Clinkscale, Larry Bethea. Now, a lot of you guys don't know these names, okay? Trust me. That was still a loaded team. That was still a really good team. So I don't know that I can say, because that defense was good. Let me see if I can see what the rankings were. Their defense. Now, check this out. Cowboys scoring defense in 1982 with Danny White, and they lost in the NFC Championship game, was 3rd in points, scoring defense. 7th in takeaways. Their offense in points and yards, 5th and 5th. That was a really, really good team. So I don't know that I look at that and I say, I got how many Hall of Famers on that team? Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson, Randy White. You know, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. That was some good teams that were there. But I'd probably have to say Danny White at that time, because I think Danny White had the highest scoring offense in the history of the Cowboys. But be that as it may, it was a different game back then, because you didn't typically throw like you do now. So it is what it is. Daniel, we are not worried. Big Dog, 8. Okay. Regardless, the Cowboys quietly have built a team that if they supplement it a little bit more, you could have some faith in it. And the final thing I'm going to say before I get ready to get out of here is, does anybody else notice a change in Micah Parsons? That Micah Parsons seems a little bit more lower key, but is working more with the rest of the players on the team? To me, it seems like Micah Parsons is becoming more of a leader. And I don't know if this had anything to do with what happened with Malik Hooker, where, Malik Hooker kind of said, you're doing all your podcasts and this, that, and the other, and we're not able to do, stop the run and things. That it seems like Micah Parsons, seeing him working with Mozzie Smith and things after practice, running extra sprints and stuff like that, seeing him there boosting like Marshawn Nealon and things, that he seems like he's taken on a role to be that team leader to help rally the troops. And if that is the case, I think that is going to be huge for the Dallas Cowboys. So, then sign him. Only 3 Hall of Famers? Oh, wait. You want to go? Let me go back through there. Hold on. You had Randy White. You had Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson, but you also had Ed Too Tall Jones on there. You had, let's see, Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett. Randy White. Ed Too Tall Jones should have been. Emerson Walls should be in the Hall of Fame. Michael Downs was a great free safety. So you have 3 that are and 2 more that should be and that have been up for the Hall. Still, loaded teams, guys. Now look at that list. That's a loaded team there, bro. All right, good people. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And don't forget to check out BetUS. BetUS has a 125% matching. Walker Wade, you had a Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. There you go, Walker Wade. We definitely had a Hall of Fame coaching class there with Tom Landry. And that was the beginning of the team kind of going down where the 49ers kind of with the West Coast offense, you had Joe Gibbs that came through with the Commanders and things. The NFC was literally a buzzsaw back then, but be that as it may. But definitely check out BetUS with 125% matching. And I'm going to take the over on Dak Prescott's 29 TDs. I don't know about the 15.5 for Daniel Jones on the TDs. You might want to take the under on that one.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
And with that, good people, I'm going to head on over to Pink's. I'll see you soon. Well, guess I'm going to head on over to Pink's.